So, what if the best playbook for your startup wasn't written by some Silicon Valley guru, but by a master strategist who built an entire empire 2,300 years ago? Today, we're going to unlock the powerful business lessons of Chanakya, and trust me, they are more relevant now than ever.
I mean, really think about that. The most ruthless, practical business advice you'll ever hear, it didn't come from Harvard Business School. Nope, it came from a man who built the largest empire in India, and he did it without a single line of code, a VC check, or even a PowerPoint deck.
That man was Chanakya. And his playbook, the Arthashastra, it's not some collection of vague, feel-good philosophies. It's a hardcore manual on power, on strategy, and on execution that can give any modern founder an unfair advantage. So let's break down his core framework.
Okay, Chanakya's first lesson is to stop seeing your business as a machine. Instead, see it as a living, breathing body with 7 critical limbs. He called this the Saptanga theory. And his warning was simple. If even one of those limbs is weak, the entire body is at risk. This framework is an absolutely killer diagnostic tool for any leader. Let's just walk through it real quick. First, you've got the Swami, the leader, that's the brain, setting the vision. Then the Amacha, your core team. They're the eyes, spotting opportunities and threats. The Janapada is your market, your user base, the legs that actually give your company movement. Your Durga, or infrastructure, think of it as the arms, your office, your tech stack, all the tools you use to build. And this is critical. The Kosha, your treasury, is the heart. Without cash flow, the whole body dies. Simple as that. Danda is your team's execution muscle, just the raw ability to get stuff done. And finally, Mitra, your network of allies and partners. They're the ears, gathering intelligence and support. I guarantee you, if your business is failing, the problem is in one of these 7 areas.
All right, let's get into the first pillar of Chanakya's strategy. This is all about brutal realism. It's about building a foundation so strong that it can survive any storm. And that foundation, it starts with the treasury.
Seriously, this quote could have been tweeted yesterday. It just cuts right through all that Silicon Valley hype of growth at all costs. User numbers are vanity. Profitability? That's sanity. But cash in the bank? That is the only reality. Chanakya knew that your treasury, your kosha, it isn't just a metric. It's the source of all your power. It's what buys you time, it's what gives you options, and it's what lets you crush your competitors when the market finally turns.
He basically argued that idealism without power is useless. In business terms, yeah, ethics and values matter, but they only matter after you've ensured your survival. So the crucial point is this. A company with no runway has no ethics, because it's not going to be around long enough to implement them. Great founders, they obsess over unit economics long before they get around to writing those fluffy mission statements.
So let's move to the next pillar, because you can see how this all builds on itself. It's not enough to just have money. You need the right people executing your vision. And Chanakya has views on talent, well, they were completely uncompromising.
Just let that one sink in for a second. A talented competitor is a threat you can see coming. But an incompetent loyalist? That's a cancer inside your own walls, quietly burning your cash and absolutely destroying the morale of your best people. Chanakya's lesson is to always prioritize competence over comfort. The biggest mistake leaders make is promoting someone based on how long they've been there instead of how good they are. It's just a slow-acting poison. So, how do you find these capable people? Simple. You don't trust, you test. Chanakya would assign small, controlled tasks to figure out someone's skill and their integrity before ever giving them real power. In our world, that's the pilot project, the 90-day trial, the small budget. The rule is just dead simple. Never give someone the keys to the kingdom if they can't even handle the keys to the shed. Okay, so you've got a strong treasury and a capable team. Now, the final pillar is all about how you engage with the market and your competition. And this is where Chanakya's strategic genius really shines. This slide just captures his strategic mind perfectly. Chanakya taught that you should almost never fight your enemy head-on. A boxer just trades punches, hoping for a lucky knockout. But a chess master, they control the whole board, making the opponent's position completely impossible. In business, that means stop fighting feature for feature. Instead, go lock up an exclusive distribution deal. Form a partnership your competitor can't possibly match. See, the most powerful move is the one that makes the fight totally irrelevant. He actually codified this entire approach into 4 clear steps for handling any negotiation or conflict. They're called the upayas. You always start with sama, which is persuasion, trying to find a win-win. If that fails, you move to dana, offering incentives like discounts or bonuses. Then comes Beda, where you create a split, you differentiate, you highlight why you're unique. And only as a very last resort do you use Danda, or force, things like a price war or legal action. And finally, maybe the most critical rule of security, protect your base before you try to expand. So many startups die because they scale weakness. They go chasing new customers before they've even fixed their retention problem. They scale up demand before they've secured their supply chain. Chanakya warned that an unsecured core is basically an open invitation for disaster. So what does all of this boil down to? Look, it's not about being ruthless or cruel. It's about being a clear-eyed realist. It's about seeing the world exactly as it is, not as you wish it were. This, right here, is the core of Chanakya's entire mindset. You have to stop designing for best-case scenarios. Instead, design systems that account for actual human nature, for greed, for ambition, for self-interest. You have to assume your top employee will leave for a better offer. You have to assume your competitor is going to try and steal your idea. Your good intentions, they're meaningless. The only thing that truly matters is the incentive structure you build. And so this is the ultimate question Chanakya leaves us with. Look at every single part of your business, your team, your customers, your investors, and stop listening to what they say. Instead, analyze what they do. And then ask yourself, what incentive am I ignoring here? Find that and you'll find the master key to your entire strategy.